Drunk driving drives his vehicle into a lake at Patriot Park.
A night turns ugly after a man pushing a vehicle off the roadway is killed after a Taylor Swift concert in Houston.
And President Joe Biden makes it official as he announces his bid for the 2024 presidential race.
In the next couple of days, we're going to be looking at what this storm does because it's going to send several waves of storms down into our area. The first one comes in on Thursday. I'll have more details coming up in a moment.
And the Industrial Cobras softball team win a must-win game against their rivals. We hear from the athletes in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
New at 10, jury selection set to begin in the civil rape and defamation trial against former President Donald Trump. The lawsuit is being brought by E. Jean Carroll, a magazine writer and columnist. She claims Trump raped her in a New York City department store in the mid-1990s. The former president has denied the claim. Protesters gathered outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan to stand in solidarity with Carroll.
Around 2 p.m. today, a driver drove his 2014 Ford Fusion into the lake at Patriot Park. Authorities say the man was under the influence of alcohol and headed to El Campo. He was able to get out through the passenger window. Our reporter on scene says the man accidentally put the vehicle in the wrong gear and drove straight into the body of water. Now, as you can see right there in the video, authorities worked together to get the vehicle removed as the water in that area is around 30 feet deep.
Early voting in Victoria for the May 6th election continues. The numbers from the Victoria County Election Administrator look like this. 352 people voted in person early Tuesday, 674 in-person votes so far. No mail-in votes received Tuesday, a total of 59 mail-in votes so far.
And we want to remind you that early voting for the May 6th election is at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A, running through May 2nd, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. Mac, you told me there was some rain in the Crossroads today, just not that much.
Yeah, it probably wasn't in the city. However, around the area, we did get a couple of little showers. As you can see it right about here, we had one that was fairly heavy. Started near Stockdale, went up through the Gonzales area, hit Luling, and is now somewhere out over Bastrop or something like that. Tomorrow should be a fairly quiet day, but then the fireworks arrive on Thursday with a line of storms coming through. I'll have more on that coming up in just a moment, so stay tuned.
Mac, thank you. Now, a tragic turn of events for two siblings last weekend. They were returning home from a Taylor Swift concert Friday night when their car stalled on a highway.
This is when Jacob Lewis began pushing the vehicle off the roadway when a suspected drunk driver slammed into the vehicle and Jacob died.
And we will bring you back this story, but the family is accepting donations through a GoFundMe. They created a scholarship fund in the Katy ISD in Jacob's memory for musical theater students. Officials in North Texas are trying to figure out how a bull made its way on a farm road and killed a man in his 60s. This happened Monday in Ellis County, Texas, in the small city of Ferris, which is about 20 miles south of Dallas. Neighbors say the victim was working his family's land along the road and was allegedly familiar with the bull. According to neighbors, the father tried to help protect his son. Deputies ended up having to shoot the bull, saying it was preventing them from aiding the man when they arrived. The identity of the victim. Farming and ranching is one of the deadliest jobs in the United States, especially for people 55 and older. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data shows while most deaths are tractor-related, animal-related incidents account for about 5%. Now, in an already expected video, President Joe Biden released a video announcing he's running for a second term in the White House.
The timing is significant in this way. Today marks 4 years to the day when President Biden announced he was running in the 2020 election. His theme for his re-election battle, defending freedom.
President Biden making it official.
Let's finish this job. I know we can.
The president asking Americans to give him 4 more years in the White House.
The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead We have more freedom or less freedom.
President Biden doesn't mention any Republicans by name, but calls out, quote, MAGA extremists who he says are lining up to take away bedrock freedoms.
Cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what health care decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love.
The president has been hinting for some time this re-election announcement was coming.
Bruce, some people are just born to run, man.
At 80 years old, President Biden is already the oldest president in U.S. history. If he were to win re-election, he would be 86 years old at the end of his second term. Mr. Biden told ABC's David Muir in February his age was not part of his calculation on whether to run again.
But it's legitimate for people to raise issues about my age. It's totally legitimate to do that. And the only thing I can say is watch me.
President Biden is not expected to face any serious challengers for the Democratic nomination, but polls have shown Democrats want someone else. A new NBC News survey found 70% of all Americans, including 51% of all Democrats, believe the president should not run for a second term. Some of the president's allies over the weekend making the case for his re-election.
In the Midwest, people think Joe Biden understands their challenges. They think that he's someone that cares.
He is going to have an incredibly strong record to run on.
With President Biden officially running, the fundraising strategy begins. Sources tell ABC Democratic donors have been invited to Washington this week for meetings to chart the path forward. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And we bring you back this story, a tragic turn of events for two siblings last weekend. They were returning home from a Taylor Swift concert Friday night when their car stalled on a highway.
And this is when Jacob Lewis began pushing that vehicle off the roadway when a suspected drunk driver slammed into the vehicle and Jacob died.
I immediately ran to him and called 911, and that was it.
That's one of the last memories April Bancroft has of her younger brother, Jacob Lewis. But it's not the one she says will stay with her from Friday night. Just a couple hours before the crash that took his life, they were preparing to see Taylor Swift together.
Knowing that we had that experience as our last memory is something wonderful to hold on to, and I will forever.
Lewis himself was no stranger to the stage.
Fallen from God, fallen from grace.
It's where his parents say he came alive.
He just always shone so brightly on the stage. He is a bright light.
He had such a bright future. We were looking forward to his future.
I fear that I'll never get to hold my sister's son.
The young thespian performed through high school and at the professional theater stages during the pandemic. He was headed to Sam Houston State University to pursue musical theater until police say Alan Hayes got intoxicated, then got behind the wheel.
Driver, hit her car, and helped to get our son out from under his car, and then got back in his car and drove away.
A tow truck driver heard about the crash and spotted a car driving erratically in the area. He followed Hayes for 2.5 miles, blocking him in on Caroline Street. Police say Hayes tried to run, but he was eventually arrested for DWI and leaving the scene of the crash. He's in jail on a $90,000 bond, and Bancroft says it's a good thing there are bars between the two of them.
Some part of me knows that I should not get anywhere near him with what I would want to do to him, because it just breaks my heart.
Until it mends, the Lewis family says they are relying on each other, their community, their faith.
My friends, I'll say it clear.
And their memories of Jacob.
He's no longer with us, but he's still a part of us. We'll carry him wherever we go.
A life that's full.
Keep Victoria Beautiful wants to improve the local economy one flower bed at a time. The organization says studies show litter-free and well-landscaped cities have better economic growth. Now a beautification grant will help get that process started for Victoria.
Businesses, schools, nonprofits, churches can apply for a beautification grant of up to $1,000 to do some landscaping projects that would help beautify the outside of your place. So we're not just saying, hey, go beautify your place. We're saying, hey, we can help you financially do that.
Local businesses can apply for various grants. For more information, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com.
And this brings us to your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. Now, the question for tonight is, does your business plan to apply for a Keep Victoria Beautiful grant, yes or no? We take a look at these results, and 7% say yes, 93% say no. Thank you for participating tonight. Visit us tomorrow for our latest viewer poll.
And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. The arraignment of the man accused in the stabbing death of Cash App founder Bob Lee delayed for a second time.
Also ahead, 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel has your military hero of the month.
Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information about an aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. On Thursday, April 13, 2023, about 9:30 p.m., a 21-year-old Hispanic male was robbed at a convenience store at the 2100 block of Lone Tree Road. The victim described the offender as a Hispanic male, approximately 5'8", with a bald head and many tattoos. The victim was injured and taken to a local hospital for treatment. If you have any information about this aggravated robbery, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on the Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. I'm Detective Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department.
Hi folks, Greg at Full of Pep. A longtime customer talked to me the other day and told me they switched to a horse feed from another company because it was cheaper than ours. Before long, the shape of his horses deteriorated and one ended up at the vet. Our equine feeds are formulated to keep your horses in the best condition and maintain peak performance at any life stage. We're not the cheapest, but we sell a superior quality product at a fair price. And in my opinion, that's value. Come see us at Full of Pep.
When it comes from McAdams, it shows you care. The freshest flowers, the prettiest plants, balloons and gift baskets too. If beautifully unique is what you seek, making lasting impressions is what we do. Always the very best value for you. When it comes from McAdams, it shows you care.
Texas, now's the time to gear up and save on a new Ford SUV. Get great deals on our most capable lineup. Now with a great in-stock selection to choose from, like the spacious and tech-savvy Ford Expedition or Ford Explorer and Bronco Sport. Ford SUVs, #1 in brand loyalty. Drive Escape now with 0% financing plus $1,000 cash, plus up to $500 accessories cash, plus complimentary maintenance.
Ford is the best in Texas.
The man charged with killing Cash App founder Bob Lee appeared in court today. However, Nima Momeni's arraignment was scheduled for May 2nd after attorney Paula Canny argued she had not received crucial evidence in time to review it. Documents claim the sister texted Lee around the time he was killed saying she knew Momeni.
Certainly somebody that we believe committed murder is an extreme threat to public safety. In this situation, we have an individual who stabbed Mr. Lee multiple times, including in his heart. That is about as dangerous as it gets, and certainly we believe he should be held in custody without bail.
Bob Lee was stabbed on April 4th multiple times.
Breast cancer is the second most common cause of cancer among women in the United States.
But Medicaid expansion appears to be helping address that burden.
Since Congress passed the Affordable Care Act in 2010, at least 40 states have expanded Medicaid. And prior research has shown that expanded access to Medicaid can improve access to cancer screening services, such as mammograms. A recent study looked at more than 20,000 patients and found that those living in states with Medicaid expansion were less likely to be uninsured, a staggering 18.9% versus 41.1%. Those in Medicaid expanded states also were less likely to be diagnosed with stage 4 disease, with larger decreases in states that expanded Medicaid earlier. Researchers say that Medicaid may only be part of the picture when it comes to receiving quality cancer care. Still, they believe that the study highlights how Medicaid expansion can lead to significant lower rates for those without health insurance. With this Medical Minute, I'm Faith Abube.
Well, good evening, everyone. We already have some big storms up in North Texas. They're going to be drifting in our direction. When will they get here? We'll have that answer coming up in a moment. Stay tuned.
82nd Airborne Division United States Army veteran James, who also goes by Jim McMahon, is your military hero for the month of April. McMahon was born in Nebraska and then grew up on the south side of Chicago, so you may notice he's got a bit of an accent, but he fits right in here in the Crossroads. Right after high school, he tried college, but at that time, it just wasn't for him.
1985, I went into the military, decided to join the military to try to get some direction in my life.
His family has a history of serving the country, and his uncle was also in the Airborne Division.
My grandfather fought under General Patton in World War II. My uncle was in the Army in Vietnam, and he was a paratrooper also.
McMahon figured what better way to get in shape than join the military.
Plus, I knew I'd get in great shape if I joined the military because they're going to make me get in great shape.
He would go on to become a medic and lab tech, going to basic training and then to jump school, because he just wasn't any lab tech. McMahon would jump out of a plane, taking the hospital with him.
The lab would go with us into the field. So when I jumped, our unit jumped, all our medical equipment was offloaded on the planes too. It dropped down to us. Our Humvees for ambulances and stuff, our tents, our microscopes, everything is sent down to us.
He also spent a year in South Korea where he would pick up an expert field medic badge. While he was talented in the medical field, McMahon saw how tough that field can be.
And we worked on this guy for an hour, and it was totally heartbreaking. And then the chief was like, "Hey, Mac," that's what they call my nickname. "Hey, Mac, why don't you come with me and we'll have to tell his family." Because he wanted me to experience the full thing. And we came around the corner, and this poor lady's like 7 months pregnant with her first child. And from that point on, into my head, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this medical thing for a profession. Because everybody that does it, that's the hardest thing to do, dealing with death, you know. And some people could do it. Me, I realized this is going to be a tough thing to do.
He finished his time in the military in 1989 and then would go on to finish college, picking up a bachelor's degree in history and political science, and went on to a teacher's college in Nebraska to get his master's in education. He's now taught in Victoria for 5 years.
And I started teaching. The reason I started teaching is I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest. It was my wife. She's like, "You love history." I mean, I love history. And so I started thinking about that, and I started becoming a history teacher, and it's been fantastic. You know, I teach over in Victoria West now, and it's a great school. I mean, just love this town. It's a really good place. It's fun. I mean, jumping out of airplanes was some of the scariest thing I did, man. I mean, you go into a door, and you look down, and you see trees going past you. You feel this breeze in your face, and that light goes off, and you get smacked on the butt, you just fly out of this airplane. You just throw yourself out of an airplane. As scary and as great as a rush as that was, teaching is the same thing, because every day you don't know what kids are going to bring into your classroom. Is there something good to be coming in? Are they in a great mood? Are they upset over something? Maybe situations at home, so you never know what you're going to get. The content is the same, but everything changes by day, which is, to me, another exciting aspect of it.
McMahon understanding the importance of history.
And like I tell kids, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been. So if we know where we've been, we can look back on things and try to make adjustments and try to make this better society for everybody.
In his free time, he enjoys documentaries and spending time with his wife and children and their pets, and he lives for the summertime, where you can usually find him by a body of water. McMahon says the military taught him honor and to just be better than he was yesterday.
Oh, honor. Because it's like, it taught me, when you're in the military, this country always look out for the little guy. And what it taught me, and this is the military, is to believe in myself and try to help other people. Because I was a lab tech and a medic, so this goes according to my belief anyway, of helping other people. But I drive of believing in myself and try not to hurt anybody, just doing the right thing. And I try to tell kids this all the time. I'm like, if you try in life, at least try to do the right things, good things will actually happen to you. And it actually turns them into better citizens. And so that's kind of, the honor thing's a pretty big issue with me.
And do you think that's rang true for you? If you're a good person, good things
happen? Yes, I firmly believe that. People are like, oh, it's karma. Maybe it is karma. But I believe that if I do right, every morning I wake up and I try to be a little bit better of a person than I was the day before, the end product's got to be a good place. At least I hope.
So thank you, Jim McMahon, to your service to your country and to all the service members out there, past and present. And a special shout out to all the educators out there. Adam Seibel, KAVU TV 25 News Now.
Y'all call, I haul. Is your home cluttered and crammed? Do you have too much junk to handle? Well, look no further. Our junk removal and dumpster services are here to help. Whether you're moving, renovating, or just cleaning out the garage, our junk removal and dumpster services are the perfect solution. We'll take care of everything from loading up your junk to getting rid of it responsibly. So call us today for your free quote. Y'all call, I haul. 361-541-6858.
Hello, my name is Maclovio Perez. My friends call me Mac. I'm the new chief meteorologist at 25 News Now. In the weather world, our job is to save lives and property. Service is very important, and the people need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And if they don't do any one of those, then you're not going to be on TV for very long. There's my forecast for the summer. Very hot and a very active storm season. Write that down. Let me know how I did at the end of the season.
When you don't keep your eyes on what you're doing, it can be downright dangerous to you and others, especially when you're behind the wheel. Put your phone down. Heads up, Texas.
Hit the ground running in the most adventurous Honda vehicles yet. Like the Pilot and Passport Trail Sport, or the Ridgeline, made more rugged with better off-road performance, and more capable with different driving modes available to conquer snow, mud, and sand. Adventure on in the Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
You want to have purpose, to unlock your full potential. Imagine a career that fits you. With the Pathways at Victoria College, you can take steps towards a high-paying career that fits you and your interests. Or save money by completing courses you need before transferring to a university to earn a bachelor's degree. No matter where you came from or where you are now, Victoria College will take you where you want to be. The world needs you. Are you ready? Victoria College. Enroll today.
Welcome back, everybody. We got up to 80 degrees today, which is right about where we're supposed to be this time of year. And you know, it's nice to have the clouds because it doesn't make it as warm, but the clouds also made it more humid, and we did have a few showers. Now, maybe you didn't get any here in the city, but no, there's the city right there. But you'll see as we loop this around, we had a lot of activity that ran through Gonzales and up through Bastrop, outside of Austin. They had wind damage. 70-mile-an-hour winds blew through there, and that storm is now sort of looping around, moving over there to the Bryan College Station area. So it's been active in some places. It's been a lot more active up in North Texas, where the big stuff has started to roll. Now, all this in yellow is a severe thunderstorm watch. They've had in red, that's a tornado warning. So these storms have already produced significant hail, 2-inch hail all over the Panhandle. And of course, this activity is now drifting generally to the east-southeast, and then eventually it'll be pushed by the cold front that's going to push it down into our area. This is a classic scenario in the weather business for springtime. You got the warm Gulf air, you got the cooler, drier air coming out of the Rockies, you've got strong lift caused by this area of low pressure, and of course you also have the frontal system beginning to move, and that's sort of scooping up all the humid air and creating these thunderstorms. And now we're pushing forward on Future Tracker here into Wednesday night, and then Wednesday morning, and then you can see how the storms start moving into northeast Texas. By the time we get to Thursday, we're going to have a solid line of storms rolling through our area. So pretty much stretching from Dallas to San Antonio and to Laredo, and that will be on Thursday. So we're expecting thunder and lightning Thursday. Friday's looking pretty good. In fact, it's kind of a calm between two storms, because by Saturday, this thing is going to move very rapidly behind us and also come through our area with a line of thunder showers. The good news is it's not like the big storm we had a couple weeks ago, because these are moving through fast, so the rainfall totals won't be significant, and I don't expect any flooding with them. However, thunder and lightning will be a problem. Now let's look at it again. This is Future Tracker. Notice the moisture is basically in East Texas and up in the Panhandle. We go into Wednesday, and then we go to Thursday, and you can see that line developing right about there Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon rolling through here. Then we've got a north wind, we've got a quiet between the storms, then we go from Friday into Saturday, and you can see how that storm gives us this next line, and that's Saturday 2 a.m. That will actually blow through here on Saturday afternoon. So 2 times that we'll get some rough weather, and let's just say the following. Thursday we'll be here. On Saturday we'll give you as best an estimate of what we expect on Saturday, because of course it's the weekend and people want to get outdoors. All right, so let's take a look at your extended outlook. This is 7 days out, so we got the 84 tomorrow. No significant rain, although a sprinkle or two. The big stuff is Thursday with the front, and we've got an alert day for that. And Friday's not bad, and then Saturday's the second round. And then after that, it clears up for Sunday and Monday. That is your 7-day forecast. Just want to remind you that we have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put that on your phone, and you can take Crossroads today wherever you want to go. Now it's sports time with Gino.
Thanks, Mac. The UHV men's golf team are champions yet again. We have that and more after the break.
Have you been told you have to live with your wound? There is hope at PAM Outpatient Wound Care. At PAM Outpatient Wound Care Clinic, you'll find the latest technology and the most committed and caring professionals dedicated to your wound healing. Our experienced wound healing experts and multidisciplinary team specialize in preventing amputation and preserving limbs.
I began hyperbarics here. I'm walking and have the leg, which is the best part.
Come see us at PAM Outpatient Wound Care, where healing starts here.
In Texas, the future belongs to everyone, so we created the truck of the future for everyone. Ford F-150, part of America's best-selling trucks for 46 straight years. With an available 12-inch touchscreen and interior work surface, it puts the world at your fingertips. And now, there's a great in-stock selection to choose from at your best in Texas Ford dealer. Drive F-150 now with 0% financing plus $1,000 cash plus up to $1,000 accessories cash plus complimentary maintenance.
Ford is the best in Texas.
The savings keep adding up for Fred Loya customers. In recent months, people who switched from Geico, Allstate, and Progressive to Fred Loya Insurance saved over $1,700 a year. State Farm customers saved over $1,300 a year. Include the savings of Fred Loya customers from multiple states, and that's a combined savings of over $1.1 million a year. Start paying less for your car insurance. Call or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
At Crossroads, 2 area teams faced off in a winner-go-home game last night, and that one went down to the wire. The only senior on the team, Lainey Dolish, hit a home run for the Cowgirls to start the game off, giving them an early 1-0 lead. The Cowgirls continued to add to their lead with this blooper into right field with a run scoring after that. But in the 5th inning, the Cobras would load up the bases, and a clutch single up the middle would bring home 2 runs, and the game was tied late into the innings. The Cobras would scratch out another run with an RBI ground out to take the lead. Edna with its last shot. Unfortunately, this one, if it was hit maybe just a little bit harder, it would have gone out and tied the game, but she had to settle for a double, and Edna could not finish or bring her home, and they would be losing, and the Industrial Cobras are now moving on, and this is what they had to say about the victory.
It feels great because I knew we could do it all along, and just being that pitcher really proves to myself that I can do it no matter what.
I just went in there with confidence, and yeah, I was like, I got this.
We got a great group of girls. You know, throughout the season you always have slumps and then you have pick-me-ups, and I think tonight was one of those. We showed fight. We didn't lay down, and we're ready for the postseason.
The Cobras are moving on and will face Nixon Smiley, who won its district in a best-of-3 series. The series will have a doubleheader this Thursday in Seguin at the high school. Game 1 starts at 4 o'clock, followed by Game 2, which is scheduled to start at 6, and Game 3, if needed, will be Friday at 6 o'clock. Edna Starr and University of Texas Permian Basin commit said even though they did not win the game, there have been a lot of positives that come throughout her career as a Cowgirl.
It felt really good to score, and hopefully I thought that would be a game changer and lead us into a win. It's been very fun. It's been rough at times, but we pushed through those rough times and got here today.
Great season, Cowgirls. Now on to the Lady Gobblers, who have emerged as the #1 seed in the district after last night's dominant win over rivals, the Navarro Panthers. These two met last week where Navarro would win by a large margin. Cuero will play in a win-or-go-home game against Bandera on Thursday. The game will be at Texas Lutheran University at 7:30. The Lady Gobblers are also your district champions. And speaking of champions, the UHV men's golf team are the Red River Athletic Conference champion for the 3rd time in a row. The Jaguars complete the three-peat in part to senior Will Payton, who shot a 1/73 in the final round, finishing 11 over the second-place finisher out of Texas A&M San Antonio. This is Payton's first career win. This is the Jaguars' 4th win of the season, 3 of which came at the Victoria Country Club. With that, your sports, Don and Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Gino. Congratulations to the Jaguars, and stay with us coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, a large visitor wanders into a movie theater in Alaska. Maybe he's looking for some popcorn.
News Center 25 at 6 and 10 is also heard on KVNN 1340 AM, Victoria's News Network.
When it comes to people you trust, you likely think of family, friends, and maybe even your neighbors.
When it comes to legal matters, people here in Victoria trust our firm at Colcole, Easley & Skiba.
Since 1954, we've been earning the trust of your family, friends, and neighbors.
And that's not only because we win cases, but because of our uncompromising client-first approach.
So regardless of what scenario you find yourself in, you deserve a team of trustworthy lawyers. You deserve Colcole, Easley & Skiba.
ABC News, honored for excellence with 41 Emmy nominations, the most of any news organization anywhere. Thank you for making ABC News America's #1 news. We're honored. ABC's 2020, winner of 3 Emmy Awards for excellence. Thank you for making 2020 Friday night's most watched and most honored news magazine.
A Philadelphia shop received a pretty cool gift from award-winning actor Tom Hanks. Now, Hanks is a collector. He uses vintage typewriters to make to-do lists and write thank you notes to his fans. He's also known for giving, which is why he gifted this autographed 1950s manual typewriter to Philly Typewriter. The device is originally from East Germany and it's worth a lot of money. The FDA says it's perfectly safe to bring dogs to restaurants without outdoor seating. Yeah, the new guidance came in an update to the 2022 FDA Food Code. The agency still says dogs shouldn't go inside restaurants unless they're service dogs, with no exception for emotional support dogs. Despite the new guidance, states, localities, and restaurants themselves may still prohibit dogs if they choose to.
And with this weather, Mac, we're a long way away from the dog days of summer.
It's been very pleasant. You know, the dog days of summer are when the dogs have their tongue hanging out. But you know, my daughter has a dog that's emotional support. She cannot go anywhere without it.
I don't blame her. Yeah.
So she picks what stores, what restaurants she's going to, whether or not Fifi can go in. No, the dog's name, Lilu.
Lilu.
Anyway, folks, we do have some storms coming at our direction. The first chance will be on Thursday. I have put up the alert day for that. The second shot will be on Saturday when we may have some storms to deal with. And so we'll certainly be here watching them for you, seeing if they evolve, but they'll all come in from the north.
Thank you, Mac. Finally tonight, a curious moose wandered into the lobby of a movie theater in Alaska for a short time last week.
What's showing?
The starstruck, I think it was Rocky.
Yeah.
Anyway, the starstruck moose wandered into the lobby of a cinema in the town of Kenai, south of Anchorage. A stunned employee behind the snack counter watched as the moose explored the area and even found some popcorn to munch on. Apparently, the animal did not care for any of the films playing and decided to stroll back out the front door without buying a ticket. Actually, that moose Moose did get some M&Ms because it's a chocolate mousse.
Chocolate mousse.
All righty. Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on Crossroads Today Plus.
Join Carolina and Trey for 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m.